India has these huge ambitions for AI, right? I mean, the goal is to compete on the world stage with giants like the US and China. But in this high-stakes tech world, all it really takes is one viral moment, one questionable claim to turn what looks like a PR win into a national headache. And that, right there, is exactly what we're going to break down.
So at the very heart of this whole thing is this just staggering gap. On one side, you have a university telling everyone they're investing over 350 crore rupees in AI. And on the other, well, the star of their show is a little robotic dog that costs about 2.5 lakh. That massive difference, that's what lit the fuse.
So the big question we're really digging into today is pretty simple, but it's powerful. How did this even happen? How does a story that starts with so much ambition and innovation just completely fall apart, so spectacularly, in less than 2 weeks?
All right, to understand the fall, we've got to start at the top, with the climb. And it all begins with a very, very big and very public bet on the future of AI.
Okay, so back on February 6th, Galgotias University makes this massive announcement. A press release goes out declaring they're investing more than 350 crore rupees in artificial intelligence. They even called it the largest AI investment ever by a private university in India. I mean, that is a number that is designed to make you stop and pay attention.
And this slide just perfectly shows how they were positioning this whole thing. This wasn't just about getting new computers for students, oh no. The university framed this as a geopolitical move, a big step to put India right up there with the world's top AI leaders. The stakes were set incredibly high from the get-go.
And here's the tone, right? Captured perfectly in the CEO's own words. It's triumphant, it's confident, and it basically claims that this one investment makes India's AI leadership inevitable. This was, without a doubt, the absolute peak of the hype.
Okay, so you've made the huge claim. Now let's see how it was actually presented to the public. The story moves from a press release to a real-world event, the AI Impact Summit in New Delhi. This was supposed to be a massive showcase, India's AI moment. So picture this, a hall packed with over 70,000 people. The Galgotias Pavilion was meant to be a total showstopper. And right there, at the center of it all, was Orion, this interactive robo-dog that was drawing huge crowds. It was becoming the living, barking symbol of that 350 crore investment.
Now, this right here, this is the critical moment. What's so wild about this is how clear the statement is. On camera, for a national news outlet, a university professor makes the claim directly. Not, we're using this or we bought this. No, she says this has been developed at the university. This is the exact moment that was about to be screenshotted, shared, and picked apart by the entire internet.
And oh, did the internet pick it apart. As videos from the summit started spreading like wildfire, the whole narrative just took a sharp turn. The crowdsourced power of the internet was about to fact-check these big claims in real time. It seriously took just hours for social media users to find the truth. Orion wasn't some breakthrough innovation from a university lab, it was a Unitree go-to, a robot you can just buy, made by a Chinese company called Unitree Robotics. The evidence was, well, it was undeniable.
And here's the number that turned a bit of skepticism into full-blown outrage. The robot, which was supposed to be the face of a 350 crore rupee AI initiative, could be bought online for about 2.5 lakh rupees. I mean, the maths just didn't add up, and people immediately started asking, wait a minute, where did the rest of the money go?
What happened next was basically a masterclass in how not to handle a crisis. As the backlash just got more and more intense, the university's responses became this chaotic, confusing mess of conflicting statements.
I mean, just look at this timeline. In less than 24 hours, the story just completely changes again and again. First, there's a flat-out denial that directly contradicts the video evidence. Then they pivot to playing the victim, claiming a propaganda campaign. Then the professor says she was misinterpreted before kind of taking some accountability. And finally, the university issues a full apology, blames an unauthorized representative, and confirms they've packed up and left the summit. It was a total public relations meltdown.
So, and this is the crucial part, the consequences went way beyond just some angry tweets. Government officials, we're talking the Ministry of Electronics and IT, confirmed they asked the university to leave for misleading the public. The issue even got raised in the Uttar Pradesh Assembly, with politicians demanding a full investigation. And then people started looking at their other exhibits, like a soccer drone they also claimed was developed in-house, which turned out to be a product from South Korea. The problem was just getting bigger and bigger.
To really get why this one incident blew up so much, we kind of need to zoom out. This RoboDog thing didn't just happen in a vacuum. It sits inside this larger story about the university's history and the whole national conversation around AI.
You see, this wasn't actually the first time Galgotias University found itself at the center of a spectacle. Back in 2020, one of its researchers published this widely panned paper about clapping to kill COVID. Then in 2024, its students went viral because they couldn't explain a protest they were part of. And the university makes these incredible claims about filing nearly as many patents in 7 years as a top research school, IIT Madras, has in 50. So it paints a picture of, let's say, a pattern of really ambitious claims.
Now, what's really crucial to understand here is the university's strategy. They have consistently and very publicly tied themselves to the government's big vision for the nation. And by framing their work as part of this national mission, they raised their own profile, sure. But it also meant that a public stumble at a government-backed summit was going to be so much more damaging.
And this really brings us to the core takeaway. The problem was never about a university buying a Chinese robot. I mean, schools buy technology from all over the world, all the time. The problem was authenticity. When you throw a 350 crore rupee figure out there, claim you're building national leadership, and present a product as developed by you are making a claim on public trust. And in this case, that trust was shattered.
You know, this quote I read from one of the articles just sums it up perfectly. In the digital age, bold claims and hype spread in an instant. But the proof, the receipts, the screenshots, the video clips, that stuff spreads even faster, and it lasts forever.
So we end on this question. As countries and companies and universities all race to be seen as leaders in AI, the temptation to create hype is just immense. But this story is a really powerful reminder. Where do we draw that critical line between having an ambitious vision and doing authentic work? Honestly, that's the question everyone in the tech world needs to be asking themselves.